Uh-oh, Kyle is dope sick. It seems he needs a much higher dosage. Yes, we all know that Lefty is hopeless. Even he knows this. He chose this. Can't be long till he overdoses. His addiction's ferocious, and what he's doing to himself is atrocious. Jesus! He's suffering from drug-induced psychosis, and he looks like he has tuberculosis, cirrhosis, necrosis, osteoporosis, dermatosis, halitosis, and toxoplasmosis. Of course, this could all be a misdiagnosis. Oh shit! Carcinomas, lymphomas, sarcomas, melanomas, lipomas, and he keeps falling into comas. The point is that he looks like death. Must be the meth. He used to be a nice kid from a really good family. To a lot of us, his home life was nothing but a fantasy. He had all the advantages a young kid could imagine, but something went wrong and no one knew what happened. He started getting high and messing with drugs, buying all his dope from some Mexican plugs. Kyle started losing it and his family noticed. Next thing you know, little Lefty was homeless. His appearance deteriorated in front of their eyes, and when his mother sees him, all she does is cries. The drugs were seeping out from under his pores, and his motherfucking face was all covered in sores. His personality changed, and he started to get mean. All he wanted from his fam was that motherfucking green. His inheritance and trust fund he squandered on drugs. Maybe when Kyle was a kid he didn't get enough hugs. Whatever was wrong with him, this dude was broken. He's snorting, shooting up, popping pills, and he's smoking. Now Kyle's 40 and he's running out of time. His health is now failing and he's losing his mind. His teeth are all missing, but he thinks he looks fine. He might not realize it yet, but Lefty is dying. Such a sad story, but we tried to help him. No matter how much we tried, our offers were not welcomed. So good luck to you, Kyle. Time to say our goodbyes, and I guess we will see you on the other side. The end.
She did them, and I was aware she did them, and I just didn't know how to stop her from doing perks, and I kept warning her about fentanyl because I have a lot of friends that lost their kids. So I'm part of that club now, and I used to beg her, and tell her, please stop taking them, you don't know what's in them. In my daughter's case, she didn't know the, for people that don't know the story, she was murdered by fentanyl. This is a picture of my daughter for the people that never seen her.
And I can't say it enough times. Do not accept anything from anyone you don't know, and even if you do know them, don't accept it unless you know what it is and where it's come from. And
I would say at my worst, I was probably taking between 30, 35, sometimes maybe 40 a day.
If anything, the way I look at it is like Sopranos saved me. When I would think like, man, what are you doing to yourself? It would be a lot easier for me to go like, stop doing this. Look at what your life could be, instead of what a lot of my friends were dealing with. And, I think it's 5 of my friends who I brought to the premieres of The Sopranos are dead now.
I had my own battle with addiction as well. The Vicodin and Percocet, that was the thing. You know, never, I didn't do heroin, or it wasn't coke or anything else. It was Vicodin and Percocet.
You know, by 2005, I was a full-blown heroin addict and a crack cocaine addict.
And even people with the worst kind of mental illness have a chance if they have the capacity to be honest with themselves. The reality is we've been lying to ourselves with every drink we put in our mouth, or every puff we take, or every, pill that we pop, or whatever we're doing. And then, we wonder why people get pissed off at us, but we don't see that it's what we're doing. It's not my mother, my father, my brother, my uncle, my sister. No, it's me too.
The consequences are too severe for me. The damage I've done to my health, it's a fucking miracle. Nothing short of a miracle that I am still alive. So, if I can do it, any of you can do it.
When people suffer from alcoholism or drug addiction, there must come a moment when your life totally crashes. For me, that moment came when the pain was too great and the consequences were too profound. Only then did I decide to change. Recovery and sobriety is all about change, and for me, it started when I woke up in a grimy hotel room in a shitty little town in Pennsylvania. And so, if you want a new life and start a new journey of a lifetime, you've come to the right place. You want to drink? That's your business. You want to stop drinking? That's our business. Welcome to Recovery Tube.
Hey guys, I love that intro. I really do. I love that. And Don Berlin, his part is perfect. The song in the beginning, I know a lot of people will say like, oh, you played a Lefty diss song. That was never meant to be a Lefty diss song. That's how I see him and his situation. And no matter how much I dislike him, his story is a very sad one, in my opinion. So that song was not meant, I'm not playing that as a joke or to insult Lefty. It's just, he's somebody who's part of this community that we've spoken about many times. And we've been watching his self-destruction for years now, Yeah, he was a decent looking kid. Yep. So thank you, Jamie P. I appreciate that, brother. A lot of stars in that intro. Matthew William Armitage, I can't tell you how fucking much I agree. You're 100% right. If they spend as much money building treatment facilities as they do building prisons, things would be a lot different, So anyway, thank you all for being here. Let me do some quick shout outs. Sally, Jamie P, JGB, Matthew, Lance 33. It's been a long time, brother. Hey now. Sven Larson, Jennifer, Sachio Thailand Adventures. I know you are, bro. We all know you are. No. There's hope for you. There's hope for all of us, I think. Super Big Exotic 420. Probably not the greatest screen name for an addiction and recovery show, but okay. Michael Hensley, we love you more. Makes me very happy to see all you guys here. Thank you, Sally. All right. Yes, it should be, Miss Campion. It should be. So I'm going to tell you guys a story, kind of a story, about what almost happened to me recently, or what I almost did to myself, I should say. Yeah, you got that right, hey now. Unfortunately, they both are. That's all it's about. You guys know my story. I'm not going to go over my story a million times, but you guys know that part of my story is that when I was about 18, 19 years old, I started, I fell into like a clinical depression, a very severe one. And I was having a lot of anxiety and panic attacks and shit like that. And I would wake up in the middle of the night. I never slept more than a couple of hours. And I would wake up with these like crippling fears, like that I'm not even going to get into it, just crazy stuff about myself and things that are happening to me. And it was all brought on by the anxiety, you know? Are you serious? How the fuck? How? Drug withdrawal. Wherever I was at, I don't know, but I would, wake up in a panic, and I would, sit with my mom, and I was just a nervous wreck, and I was filled with all these irrational fears, and I started drinking in a way, Now, this is at a time when I was already drinking a lot, but I wasn't drinking to put myself to sleep or to self-medicate, really. And this is when it started. It was more so the anxiety than it was the depression. And I would have, a lot of obsessive thoughts and shit like that, intrusive thoughts, and I was just a mess. So I started drinking, and then another reason was the depression is, I could only sleep a couple hours a night. So I would drink to make the anxiety go away. I would drink to fall asleep. I would drink to stay asleep, stuff like that. Did you really, Michael? I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Must be something in the air. So anyway, I just explained this story on my MobTube show the other day. Yesterday, I think it was. Yesterday, the day before, something like that. That just recently, about a month, probably about a month and a half ago, it started. That same shit was happening. I was having crazy anxiety, intrusive thoughts. I was like obsessing over things, and I was driving myself and the people around me insane. Guys, I can't tell you how bad it was. I kind of explained the other day, like I was like shaking, like I would be, having such severe anxiety, and I couldn't get my mind off these stupid things that I was obsessing over, and it was not doing, our marriage any good. I'll tell you that fucking much, because I couldn't even focus on Shanna or pay attention to. If we were watching a movie, I get 45 minutes into it, I didn't absorb a word or see a thing. I'm focused on this other stuff. We'd go out and it would ruin our time out, everything. So now, like I said, my old way of handling this was drinking. Now, I think just because I've been through so much with it, drinking rarely enters my mind. Even then, did it hit me a couple of times? I know how to make this go away. Of course it did. Because, I do know how. A bottle, no doubt. But I'm just not, Miss Camp, you're wrong. I'm just not, I can't say never. You should never say never. But I don't see any circumstance where I will go back to drinking. Unless, I can't say, you should never say that either, because tragedies occur and you never know. People give up on life. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least so far as the things that have happened since I've gotten clean and sober, there hasn't been any real time where I felt like I was going to drink. There was times where I got cravings. There was times where I'd see some alcohol in a store and I'd be like, ooh, I'd love to suck that bottle down right now. There was a time when me and Shanna were in the Poconos for vacation, and we were in a dining room at the resort where we were staying. And there was a table behind me and Shanna that was just filled with mixed drinks. And I just saw it like froze. And Shanna said, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Baby, I just want to run over to that table and just drink just swallow them like in a cartoon, just pour them down my fucking throat. One shot." Oh, you know what I mean? But I've never felt like I'm going to drink, not since I got clean and sober. And hopefully I never do. So it wasn't that. Okay, it wasn't that I was considering relapsing, so to speak, on alcohol. What I started to seriously consider, because it was taking over my life and I couldn't think straight for 5 fucking minutes out of each day, was some trees. Believe it or not, me of all people, weed. Because I won't drink, and I won't do coke either, but in the situation of having anxiety, you certainly don't want to do cocaine. So that's really out of the question. Okay. If that's what you're planning on self-medicating with for fucking anxiety, you don't want to do cocaine. So all I could think of was weed. Maybe I'll go get some trees, and I made a phone call, and, for me, I could get anything in 5 minutes. And that was one option. I had no problem. I was told, yeah, just come get what you need. And then also, I had gone to a couple of stores that sell this shit, you know, that's like that Delta 9 shit, which I read stuff about and I would never try that. But that's how desperate I was. I wound up buying nothing. Okay, this was like over 3 days I was considering this because I was desperate. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I didn't know what to do. And I just wanted anything that would help, of course, with the exception of the things I mentioned a minute ago. And I never had a problem smoking weed or with weed. I never had a problem. I mean, I smoked weed probably, like I always say, maybe 8 times my entire life. And there was never an experience where I liked it, except for one time when I was living on Boundary Avenue in like maybe 2016, before I went to jail in 2016. I was drinking and I was doing coke and I ran out of alcohol, which is bad. And my neighbor was smoking a blunt on his porch. So I said, give me that. And I took a couple of hits and it calmed me down. It leveled me out and I went right to sleep. No problem. Usually it would take a fucking fifth of vodka to make me go to sleep at a time like that. It's the only pleasant experience I had. And I can't even say it was really pleasant because I don't think I really felt anything. I just calmed down and was able to go to sleep. I fucking hate smoking weed. And smoking weed one time threw me into the most horrible anxiety attack I've ever had in my life. The guy I was with at the time thought I was dying and got scared and left. Great guy, right? So I think he took some of my coke with him that night, actually. But so, you know, weed probably would have been a bad choice anyway, because it might very well have made the anxiety worse. But the point is, that's the closest I've come in almost 6 years to trying any type of substance, you know? And I know a lot of you will be like, smoke weed, fuck it. You never had a problem with it. It's just weed. I know, but you got to understand, I pride myself on being clean. When I say clean and sober, I mean clean and sober. I have had nothing since June. You could technically say June 20th of 2019, but I go with June 21st because after midnight, I took a few sips and maybe did a bump or two right before I went to rehab. So I say June 21st. Wait a minute. Maybe I went to rehab on the 21st and didn't get it. Or maybe I went on the 19th and did. I don't know. Before I know this, I didn't do anything on the 21st, so maybe I got the dates wrong. That's why I consider that my first day, because the day before I used. So maybe, I don't know. All I know is my first day completely clean and sober with no substances was June 21st of 2019. And for all of you who know me well, you know, my fucking brain is all over the place. My memory sucks. So, but June 21st of 2019 was my first completely clean and sober day. So, maybe that's it. Cause they were saying in rehab, my clean date, my sobriety date was June 20th, but I insisted on it being the 21st because I am the way I am. Doesn't matter. Now I'm obsessed with that. Point is, June 21st of 2025 will be 6 years clean and sober. See how I am? Jesus Christ, anybody could use some weed. So, but I'm not. I know it's not JGB, but it's like, listen, I've been through this last 6 years without even taking like CBD oil or anything. I mean, I've turned down everything you can imagine. Everything you can imagine when it comes down. I had a doctor one time that just a few years ago offered to prescribe me benzos, for fuck's sake. Okay? Even with my history. And I turned that down. I won't do anything. That to me, clean and sober means clean and sober. It doesn't have to mean that for everybody. Okay? If you smoke weed, you smoke weed. But for me, if I smoke weed, I'm not clean anymore. And there's no way that I was going to let a couple of weeks of suffering bring me back to square one where I'm starting my clean time all over again. No way. No way. Or the other option is I could have liked it, and then I'd have been smoking weed all the time. And now I got a new addiction. Fuck that. So I didn't smoke any weed. I didn't go get any. I turned down several people. One guy was going to bring me some gummies. I said, no. And the point is, I turned everybody down, and I didn't do anything. So this might seem like a bullshit story to you guys, because a lot of you don't think of anything of weed, but I do. It's a drug to me, and it's addictive. There's no question about it, because I'm telling you, all my friends are pothead, every single fucking one of them. Cam smokes so much goddamn fucking weed, it's unbelievable. And so does everybody else I hung around my whole fucking life. I don't, I'm the only person in my I had several crews of friends, circles, and they all smoke weed all the time. And it was just never me. You know what I'm saying? So, but they are straight up drug addicts. I mean, I will, Miss Campione, I will. I sent you a picture of that one blunt he had that day, remember? So I see how they are. You know what I mean? These fucking, all of them that smoke weed. I mean, they wake up. They need weed as soon as they wake up, just like I needed alcohol as soon as I woke up, and Coke. You know what I mean? Throughout the day. I mean, potheads to me are such bad drug addicts, because I've never seen somebody like when I was doing cocaine. If I was at a certain, like a family event or any type of event, if I was at the park with my kids or something, my daughter, whatever, I didn't have to do cocaine. Even that could wait a while. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, you don't go through withdrawal from it. But now alcohol is a little bit different. Alcohol, you go through withdrawal. So when I was physically addicted to alcohol, it got in the way of a lot of things. I'd have to leave places to go drink. But Coke, didn't really. And I mean, I am at skate parks every fucking day, as you guys know, different skate parks. And every skate park I'm at, every time I'm at one, there's somebody smoking weed. Okay. Now, and a lot of these people are adults. You know what I'm saying? In their 40s, shit like that. And it's like, if you can't not smoke weed just while you're at a skate park, you got a fucking serious problem. That's insane. Okay. If I was still a Coke addict, I guarantee you I ain't breaking out no Coke at a fucking skate park. Okay. But weed's even worse because it fucking smells, and people can get high just from being near you. Every now and then there's kids at the skate parks, parents. You don't want all that shit. I don't like that. But I know so many drug dealers that got busted on their way back from Baltimore or New York or New Jersey or Philly, reeing up because they had to smoke weed. They couldn't wait till they got back, a couple hour drive. They couldn't wait. They had to smoke weed in the car, and then they get pulled over. They open the window. It's like, you know what I mean? They get searched. They get caught with a half a brick in their trunk or whatever the fuck they got. I know people that got caught with guns in their cars because they had to smoke weed on the way home. So that's, to me, that's an addiction. Okay. I don't care what anybody says. If you need it all the time, or even if you need it, period, it's an addiction. I need these fucking things, unfortunately, and it's an addiction. At least I, think I do. I tell myself I do. No, I know Satchio Thailand Adventures. I know it is. Trust me. But that's another reason why I didn't slip and wind up smoking some weed, because you change with age. I might have loved it, and the weed has changed too. I might have gotten some gas and just been like, ooh, you know what I mean? This is nice. And next thing you know, I'm smoking weed all the time, and I'm a drug addict again. So I don't want to, and I'm not trying to insult anybody if you smoke weed all the time. I'm not trying to call you a drug addict, but you know what I mean. It's bad enough I need these fucking cigarettes. I don't want to be in a position where I need weed too. And not only that, but if you're using the weed to treat something like anxiety, it could be good. It might be better than pharmaceuticals, but it also means that when eventually you're most likely going to have to stop smoking weed. And when you do, all that shit's going to come back to you, you know? Not like it's much different with pharmaceuticals, but you see what I'm saying. So I just wanted to tell you guys that story and share it with you because I'm honest. You know, I could sit here and act like I'm perfect and nothing ever bothers me and I don't ever feel the need or the desire to try some sort of substance. But I did it. I did just a month ago, man. I'm telling you, I was so fucking close. And that's another reason I woke up that one day and said, okay, I'm going to the doctor today. And I called him and I said, I need an emergency appointment. And even when I was sitting there with the doctor, I thought, let me ask you about a medical marijuana card. I didn't. Let me read some of your comments. Nicotine is tough to quit. Oh, God, yeah. They say it's as difficult as cocaine. What, not smoking or stopping smoking weed? I think I'd believe that, yeah. Yeah, because they're very similar, Sachio Thailand Adventures. There's no physical withdrawal from either one. You could smoke weed every day for 60 years and stop, and you're just going to feel miserable mentally. But physically, you're not going to have any withdrawal symptoms. They just don't, weed doesn't work that way. Cocaine is the same. Remember New Jack City when they got Pookie off crack and he's sitting in that fucking, wherever he is, in some room and he's fucking shaking and pouring sweat and he's so sick? That's not a thing, okay? Cocaine in any form does not cause physical withdrawal. You'll be miserable mentally, you'll want it, you'll crave it, but you won't be physically ill. You won't be. So, but it's a strong, strong mental addiction. You know, weed and cocaine, very, very strong because whatever your addiction is, chances are you see it as the answer to your problems. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to give that up, you know, and you're used to feeling a certain way. You don't want to lose that. You know what I mean? I told you a lot of my last couple of years really doing coke, but shit, fuck that. Last probably 10 years doing cocaine. I didn't even get a feeling from it no more. My fucking tolerance was through the roof. I can't even tell you the last time I was high on cocaine. I can tell you the last time I did cocaine. I can't tell you the last time I was high on it, but I guarantee you it was many, 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 many years ago, and many years before I got clean. You know what I was addicted to? Doing it. I just loved snorting coke, and I loved the drain and the taste. Oh, God, I loved it. But my nose got fucked up so many years ago. I don't know where that coke would go, but it wasn't going down me throat. Okay? Because again, a drain I haven't gotten in from before I got clean. I'd say probably at least 7-8 years before I got clean. And I was chasing it every fucking day. I wanted that drain. I loved it. The numbness in your throat and everything. I loved that shit. The taste of it. But I would just chase that, even though I knew, like, I ain't getting it. Wherever this coke is going in my nose, I don't know. But it's not resulting in a fucking drip. The weed now isn't that dirt shit we got in high school. I'll tell you that. Oh, fuck no. Of course. I see weed all the time. I'm around people that show me, you know, different types of exotic shit they got. You know what I mean? I see some fucking fire, you know, but I just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm always around it though. Let me see. I don't smoke in public. I don't blame you. It's really an ignorant ass thing to do. It really is. Because it's like you're telling the people around you, you got no choice but to smell this horse shit now and possibly catch a contact off of it. Oh, no. I hear you, War. I hear you. That's why I say I don't knock anybody who does it. I mean, guys, I'm going to tell you the truth. If God forbid I had chronic pain or something and weed helped with it, I would make the exception. Before I would get myself on some fucking oxycodone or some shit, fuck that. I would smoke weed. That's why I don't knock any of you for doing it. The only thing that irritates me, and I don't really care as much anymore as I used to, I've calmed down a lot, but I just don't like when people say they're clean and they smoke weed. If you say I'm off dope, I'm off coke, I'm off crack, I'm off, whatever. But if you say I'm clean, to me that means clean, like I'm clean. If I take a piss test right now, it's going to be clean. That's the way I see that word. There's nothing in my system. And I was just desperate, I was just desperate, and I just wanted an answer. I wanted something that would help. So I was willing to smoke fucking weed, a thing that I hated to do in my life, and luckily I chose against it. Or I should say I was considering it. I obviously wasn't willing because I didn't do it. But yeah. Because they don't have weed isn't legal in PA. You got to have a medical marijuana card, which, by the way, somebody linked me up with a phone number, $75. I would have had a medical marijuana card the next day, but I didn't do it. But they have these stores around here where you can buy this Delta 9 horse shit. It looks and smells just like some exotic, some gas, but I read things. You know me, I research everything. Because I was considering getting it. I really was. I was going to go buy a bowl and some of this horse shit. And then I decided I'd rather just have, actual weed. That's when I started making calls. But, in the long run, I did neither. I thought about it and I changed my mind. I don't think even if I would have went and bought it, I don't think I would have smoked it. It's just, it represents a failure for me. But, and this is something I refuse to fail at. But I was considering getting that shit. And then I was reading about it and I'm like, this shit is crazy. Shit can make you hallucinate and everything. Fuck that. No. I take it as a pre-workout in edible form. Is that right? Does that help you? Oh, that's good, I guess. Schizo Sunbear. Oh, Miss can't be wrong. There certainly are. I told you I was still going through it when we were in Wildwood. We were in Jersey. And I was on the boardwalk. And there was all these stores selling all this shit. And I went, we walked up to this one place and I was just looking around. I was just curious, I wasn't going to buy anything, but I was like, is this shit real weed you got like in the showcase here? Weed and gummies and mushrooms and all this shit. They sell mushrooms. And he was like, yeah. I said, it's real. It's THC. It's not that THC. What the fuck do they call it? THC, the fake shit. I forget. But he was like, no, it's real. And I said, you can sell weed on the boardwalk here. And he was like, yeah. So I went to some other stores and they seemed to have the same shit. And they were like, no, it's THCA, I think. They were like, no, it's not. It's the Delta 9 shit or whatever. It's THCA. It's not real. Then I checked out this one place because I was so curious. And this guy fucking, listen, he had the THCA, the Delta 9 shit and all the showcases. And I said to him, do you sell actual weed, trees? And he was like, hold on. And he fucking goes in this box under the counter and he pulls out like a pound of, you could smell it from fucking 5 feet away. I said, holy shit. He was like, whatever you want, I'll just weigh it out for you. And I was like, man, but I didn't do it. That goes to prove that I wasn't really willing to do it because I had opportunities. And Jersey is filled with dispensaries. They're everywhere. It's legal in Jersey. But so I considered it. I thought about it the whole time I was there, but I didn't wind up doing it. And I'm going to tell you the truth. One of the reasons is, you know that feeling you get when you're about to get high? Anybody who's been a drug addict knows that no matter how many times you've gotten high, it could be 1,000,000 fucking times. Every time you're about to get high, you have this feeling of excitement and like, some good shit's about to happen. You're going to feel great. I started to feel like that when I was thinking about getting some weed. It was, I don't even like weed, but it was like, I felt this excitement of like, now I'm going to do so. I'm going to be getting high again. You know what I mean? And that's what bothered me the most. Because it was like, no. I don't want to feel that anymore. I don't want to feel that. Because we all love that excitement, that feeling, that rush, you know? So, anyway. Yeah. Schizo, he did. I had a bad addiction to soap, but I'm clean now. I never heard that one, but that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Then again, is it? Wouldn't you be dirty now if you're clean technically? I get the hurting and smoke, and it helps. That's good. Oh, really, Schizo Sunbear? Yeah, I won't be. I won't be getting anything, but while I was in Jersey and shit, I was checking shit out. I was curious because I was fascinated because this guy had bags of mushrooms and shit. I'm like, this can't, you're telling me those are real fucking mushrooms. He said, yeah. Is that true? Is that possible, guys? Do they sell mushrooms in Jersey and shit now? But I was looking at his bags, and his bags didn't say THCA. They didn't say Delta 9. It said THC. It helps me eat too. The pain makes you so sick to your stomach. Oh, really? I feel terrible for you, bro. Yeah, that's what I heard, Schizo. What is that? I don't even know what that is. What was a joke, Matthew? Something go over my head? No, I know it was a joke. Bro, I know it was a joke. I'm saying, if you want to think logically about it. I think you were clean when you had the addiction to soap. Nah, yeah, I ain't fucking with that. You. Oh, you're in Western? Oh, so you're near Pittsburgh and shit? Is it really? A sativa as a pre-workout. See, it has all those different uses, but I just, I don't know. I know me, man. If I would have gotten some weed and smoked it, I mean, those same obsessive thoughts, that's what I would have had. I would have had that over the fact that I smoked weed. You know what I mean? And I would be fucking beating myself up. And plus, I never want to tell you guys, even though I think if I smoked weed, you guys would be like, fuck it, Chris, who cares? But I remember when I was in IOP the first time, intensive outpatient in 2000. And after every weekend, it was a group of like 12 people. I was in there for like 6 weeks or some shit like that. After every weekend on Monday, one of the people in that class would come in and say they relapsed over the weekend. And I remember how disappointed I felt in them and how everybody else felt disappointed in them as well. I remember the looks on everybody's faces and everything. And I remember how shitty the person would feel every time about the fact that they relapsed. They'd be in tears just talking about it. So I would never want to disappoint you guys. You know what I mean? Never. Forget about, I'm never going to give that satisfaction to my enemies. That's part of it. But I never want to disappoint my friends. Oh, is that right? Oh, yeah, Schizo. I'm sure that happens. Wow. Oh, yeah? I love going in the spot. I come out smelling like it. Smells so good in there. I want to buy it all. I spend maybe $40 a month on it. That's it? Wow. I wish I spent $40 a month. You can smell all my stuff in the trunk of my car where I put it on the way home from the dispensary. Oh, really? Damn. Wait a minute. Now? You smoke now, Sally? Why do I feel like I didn't know that? Euphoric feeling. Yeah. Mushrooms are for helping you reset. Fuck that, man. I see me. That's the problem with me, as I go too far. I was it was New Year's Eve of like, I'm gonna say 90, maybe 97, and I was with this friend, and we went to some place in some small fucking town. I don't know. I was driving. I don't even remember why we went, but it was probably for this reason, because I think I might have just been taking him there. Anyway, we're driving home, and he pulls out a bag of mushrooms. It was a lot. It was a lot in a bag. It's probably an ounce or some shit, and or a couple of ounces. I don't even know. I don't know what my mushrooms look like in that weight, to be honest. I just remember, I think an eighth like pretty much lines the bottom of a sandwich bag. But he had a lot, and he pulled it out, and he ate a couple, and I said, "What's that? That mushrooms?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Word." So I took the bag. I was like, "You mind if I have some?" He's like, "No." So I started just, while we're driving, I'm just eating them like they're potato chips. A lot of them. Well, my brother had a New Year's Eve party that night, and we went to his crib. And I felt fine most of the day, and until I didn't anymore. And I laid down on the floor because I was drinking and stuff, and all of a sudden I started not to feel right. And I laid down on the floor, and I was looking up, and all of a sudden I saw the fucking ceiling come down, and then from the, out of the corners of my eyes, I saw the walls coming in, and I was hallucinating. I thought I was about to be crushed. And I flipped out, and I just went into a crazy trip that fucking night. Like, everything was terrifying. None of it was fun. It's not like, oh, I saw pink elephants and clowns and shit. No. Everything was terrifying. It was a horrible experience, and I never did them again. I remember I was at that catering company in the early 2000s, and my man Kenny, me and Kenny used to hustle together. Like, we used to go grab a lot of Coke at a time, and we were both getting money. And we were in the kitchen, or we were in the dish room of the kitchen, where they do the dishes and shit. Somebody called off. Kenny was actually like a chef, but he had to do some dishes for the boss. So we're in the dish room, and we're talking, and this motherfucker pulls out a bag of shrooms, like an eighth, and he fucking eats the whole fucking thing. And then the executive chef comes into the dish room and says, "Kenny, don't get mad at me, but I need you to work tonight." I swear to God, as soon as the executive chef walked out of the dish room, Kenny went, luckily he hadn't swallowed them yet, so he just spit them all out into his hand. If I remember correctly, he put them back in the bag and said he would eat them later. I was like, oh, bro. What the fuck? That shit was so funny. I'll never forget it. I don't know nothing about all that. They were trying to explain that shit to me in Jersey. I was like, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah. We have that here, Matthew. Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. I don't blame you, JGB. Fucking tobacco is a hell of a lot more dangerous. Oh, that's what's up, Sally. Did you ever go to rehab in Western Pennsylvania? I went to one before in Somerset. No, I had a friend that lived in Somerset for a while, but no, I went to rehab once. I was, pretty much on and off addict for, like 24 years, something like that, maybe. Addict and alcoholic. In some cases, addict or alcoholic. And I went to rehab once in 2019, and that was it for me. What breaks my heart every day, and I think about this every day, because there's so many regrets I have, and so many, issues I still have in my life because of my addiction. If I would have just gone, years earlier. But I did tell you guys a story. I tried. I called crisis intervention, desperate for help, and they said, we got a place for you. This is in 2013 or 2014. And I was all ready to go. I told my mom and my family, my daughter, I didn't tell my daughter where I was going. I told her I was going away for month or so. And they called me back and said, oh, turns out the place that has a bed for you, they're not a dual diagnosis center, and you have, bipolar in your past. So you have to go to a dual diagnosis center. So I said, so what happens now? She said, well, maybe in a few days we'll find a place. And I said, a few days will be too late. Thanks anyway. And it was, and boom, you got another 5 fucking years of addiction, and I destroyed my heart and everything, got congestive heart failure and ruined relationships and all types of stuff. It breaks my heart that I wasn't able to go that day, or that I didn't try the next day or the day after that, or even 25 years ago, I almost got kicked out for jogging off the rehab grounds. Really? That's crazy. The place I was at, Schizo, the people who have been with me for a long time in here, they know about it. But that place was it was for rich people. I was not rich, but I was in a union. I had good insurance, and I just lucked out. But everybody else in there were millionaires, except for me and one other woman who was actually from Lancaster. Everybody else was from New York, Florida, the only person from Pennsylvania, I think, was from Erie, Jersey, different places, Connecticut. And they were all millionaires. And because it was that type of place, the rehab, there was no rules, no crazy rules, except for when you left on a day pass, you had to come back and take a piss test immediately. You know what I mean? That's it. You could go out and smoke. You could go sit by the pool outside and smoke any time of day or night. You get up at 3 a.m. and go smoke. You can go to the fridge, that gourmet fucking food, leftovers from the lunches and dinners earlier that day. You could go in the fridge and find a steak and some potatoes and whatever the fuck you want. Make yourself a meal any time of night. There was walking trails. You could walk around, basically get lost for a while. There was fucking, there was basketball courts, there was tennis courts, there was fucking a gym, there was a pool room, a movie room, there was Tai Chi, there was meditation, there was everything. But there was no real rules. I mean, you could have your phones, your laptops, your tablets, everything. It was amazing. Oh, really, Sally? This sounds shitty to say, but I'd love to see you on mushrooms or hash or something. Oh, yeah, Schizo? Oh, shit. I've heard shrooms and alcohol doesn't mix well. Yes. I don't know if it was the mixture or just the shrooms, but yeah, it didn't work for me. I'll tell you that fucking much. When I decided to change my life and stop everything, I had to do it alone. There was no support or rehab to go to. I had to learn how to fight it myself. You're a strong dude, bro. No doubt about it. That's why I got so much respect for you. Yeah, man. Met Shanna, and that's probably why I'm clean to this day. Her. Tom Sheehy, what's up, brother? Good to fucking see you. Wow, I'm glad you're here, man. Especially for an addiction recovery show. Awesome to see you, bro. I was really lean and healthy when getting out of rehab. I don't think I lost any weight or anything, but I definitely came out healthier. I mean, especially with the food they feed. It was a chef that cooked. And no breakfast. Breakfast, you ate cereal, bagels, toast, eggs, whatever the fuck. And there was an all-day salad bar. Anytime you wanted, you go in and get a banging fucking salad. But the chef cooked lunch and dinner, and it was, except for on weekends, he cooked like a brunch, and you could have people come visit and eat brunch with you and stuff. But the lunches and dinners, man, food was so good and nutritious. And, you go in there, especially if you're an alcoholic. I mean, you go in there severely malnourished, and you need all that shit. You need all that nutrition, to get better. I came out feeling like a fucking $1,000,000. I know that much, man. After I got through the first 6-7 days of detox, I was okay. And I loved it. It's one of the best experiences I ever had. It's one of those things I always remind myself of and think about just because I never want to forget it. You know what I mean? But that's another thing that's awesome, My wife, she was there, so we can always talk about it and stuff. You know what I mean? She wasn't my wife then, but Tom Shee, how you been doing, brother? The rehab facility where I worked in Miami, the food was too good for the staff. Oh, really? That's funny. Only residents were allowed to eat it. Well, they did that with Clarity Way. They would it depended on the day. You know what I mean? How much food was left, and then the staff could have some. But when there was days where there was just enough to feed, the residents, the clients, then they didn't get. The staff couldn't eat shit. But one of my first memories of Shanna is I was sitting in the little, I don't know if you call it a little cafeteria area. It was a little area, next to the kitchen. The kitchen was all open. So it's weird to say next to, but where all the tables were and shit. And I was sitting at one of the tables with this young guy, this 19-year-old kid. That fucking guy tried heroin, and 2 weeks later he flipped his car and almost, killed himself and everybody in the car. He got addicted that quick and damn near destroyed his life within a couple of weeks of trying heroin. But I loved this kid, man. His name was Mark. He was a good dude. Did I say? Yeah, it was Mark. It was Mark. I was thinking Nick for a second. It was Mark. He's actually still on my Facebook, but and this is a true story, no lie. I remember Shanna coming out of the nurse's office and going over to the salad bar, making a salad, and then going back in there. I remember seeing her, and then at some point I had to go in there and get my medicine or some shit. I came out and I sat back down with Mark and I said, what do you think about the nurse in there? And he said, she's nice looking. I said, yeah. I said, I'm gonna get with her. I guarantee it. I'm gonna start a relationship with her. so something along those lines. I might not have said it that way, but I made it clear that I was going to get Shanna. And shit. Fucking 9 months later, I was sending Mark an invitation to our wedding. You know what I mean? So, yeah, JGB, Yeah, not that way. I didn't use those words. I am kind of, you guys know how I speak and stuff. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm going to, and whatever. No, not at all. Not at all. So, anyway. What about you guys? Tell me what's going on in your lives. Tell me what, are any of you struggling with anything? Any of you, I hope none of you relapsed or anything, but what do you guys got going on? Talk to me. I'm going to stay on for a little while. I want to hear from you guys, and I have to go soon because I just found out my new glasses are waiting for me at the place, and I want to go get them. And, well, Shannon will be home soon anyway. I try to be home when she's home, but I'll just have to dip out for about an hour. I don't want to go out in this fucking bitch ass rain, but I want my glasses. I try to get these. These are all I spent fucking with the insurance. These were like fucking, well, with the both pairs, these and these were $400. But I got scratch resistant. I got the anti-glare, whatever the fuck it's called. I got the transition lenses. I got all that shit. And they're scratched to fucking shit. I mean, it's like every time I touch them, they get a scratch. But I paid for the fucking warranty. So I went last week to the eyeglass place, and I was like, yeah, you said these were scratch resistant? Look at them. I said, I want new ones. And they said they discontinued the frame. my luck. I love this fucking frame, so I had to pick a new one, and I'm excited to get it. Oh, that's what you call slot machines? Pokies? What the fuck? I understand my oldest is almost, oh, you guys are talking. Depression tries to get me a lot. That's why I try to laugh a lot. 10-year anniversary is next week since Kimberly FBS, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I know it probably doesn't get easier either. Oh, Matthew, no problem. And matter of fact, Matthew, if you want to share it all in the chat, or if you ever want to even come up here, you can. But if you want to tell us what's going on with you, we'll be glad to talk to you about it. If you're into this stuff, Matt, you're going to love this community, because the people you see in this chat now are always here for each other. We support each other. We help each other. We always got each other's back no matter what. We've helped each other in so many ways. Alcohol, gambling, cigs, that's my trifecta. Still, Jennifer? Or are you clean, so to speak? It's interesting, Jennifer, because I always want to talk to people. Like, I think Frank is the only person who ever talked about a gambling addiction. There he is. There he is. There's Frank. But I'm fascinated with that to some extent, because, you know, me and Shanna go to casinos sometimes, and we see, like, what I see is astounding to me, you know, and it's, you know, it's, I think it's easy enough to spot gambling addiction. Like I, you know, I remember I was sitting next to this black girl one time. We were playing the same slot. It was called Wheel of Prosperity. She won $800, right? And she was like, "Oh, I got my money back." I was like, "You lost $800?" She was like, "Yeah, but I got it all back now." I was like, "Great. There you go. You're good. Cash out. Go home." She was like, "Nah." I walked away. Me and Shanna walked back past. About 25 minutes later, she was putting a $20 bill in. She lost all of it. I even asked her, I said, "Did you cash out your voucher, or did you lose the 800? She said, "I lost it." And she kept playing. To me, that's all I need to see to know you have a gambling fucking problem. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, guys, if I win something, I got to leave. Or I just got to, I don't know. Like, once I'm up, I want to leave up. Say I'm up $400. I might be willing to play 50 or 75 back, but that's it. I want to make sure I left with the majority of what I won. You know what I'm saying? So, but I see a lot of gambling addiction at casinos. I mean, I see worse stuff than that too. I mean, we were at a casino a while ago, and when we left, there was a guy in his car screaming, shaking the car, that he lost every fucking thing. I was like, wow, man. Guess that answers that. I guess I maybe I have a little gambling problem. Maybe, Ducks. I don't know. But last time we were at a casino, there's this game that I play. It's called Cash Respins, I think it's called, this slot. And twice I've hit the major on the slot. The major is about $600 if you're betting, you know, the minimum or whatever. It's the only machines I ever won the major on, and I won it twice. So we're sitting, Shanna's on one side of these slots, I'm on the other side, and I'm sitting next to this woman. This other woman comes over and says to the woman next to me, "Look at your text." And the woman's like, "Why? What happened?" She was like, "Look at your text." So I'm like, "Oh, what did this bitch win?" So she fucking, now we're not on the Cash Respins game. I was just telling you that because that's what this woman was on. So the woman next to me looks at her phone and goes, 60,000? And this woman must have been a rich bitch. She was like, "Yeah, how cool is that? I won 60 grand. I was like, "Man, let me tell you something. If I win 60 fucking grand, the whole casino is going to know about it. I'm be like, "Oh shit, baby, we won." I'll be fucking going out of my mind. 60 grand. Oh, I would be so fucking happy. This woman was just like, "Yeah, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool?" Fucking bitch. That pissed me off. I want that 60 grand. Anyway, though, Jennifer, let me see if you answered about if you're still going through stuff or what. This group supports each other. It does. Jennifer's on my wavelength. Same for you guys, huh? What the fuck is going on? Let me just check the camera real quick. This fucking dog. I bet you there's nothing even happening. He's barking. I don't know if you guys could hear him. He's barking his ass off. Brayden! Hold on. All right. My stepson and his girlfriend. That's why the dog was barking at her, I guess. Anyway. All good people in this chat. Hell yeah, Tom. I still use weed in edible form, but you don't gamble or nothing no more? Doug said, what constitutes a gambling addiction? I mean, I would be the wrong person to say, but to me, it's when you can't stop. Like, I have this belief that real, true gambling addicts are not addicted to winning. They're addicted to losing. Because when I've been around real gambling addicts, they can't win enough that it's time to go. They will play every dime back and then take more. Oh, man, that same night that bitch won 60 grand, I was playing on the other side where Shanna was, and there was a different chick next to me. This bitch played, I watched her play $1,000 fucking dollars. She's betting like $5 to spin, $1,000. She runs out of money. She doesn't even look frustrated. She takes out her phone. She goes into her little Penn National account or whatever, and boom, puts another 100 on the machine. Runs out of that, does it again. Runs out of that, does it again. I said, you're out of your fucking mind. You can't possibly understand the value of money. You fuck out of here. $1,300, you crazy bitch. Fucking nuts. Yeah. I don't mind gambling. The minute I lose a penny, I'm done. I'll lose whatever I bring, and I'm okay with losing. You know what I mean? But it's anything beyond that, I don't fuck with. And once I win, I'm up. Once I'm up, I'm up. I'm not losing down. It ain't happening. Fuck that. There's been many a times where, Shanna's barely even gone through any of her money, but I won something and I'm way up. There's been plenty of times where I said, baby, I'll just hang out with you the rest of the night. I'm done gambling. Fuck that. I don't want to play no more. Because if I lose this money, I'm going to kick the shit out of myself. Yeah. Last time Mr. Campion went to the casino for 30 minutes, we won $700. I said, come on, let's go shopping. Fucking right. I did that one night when we were out. I won $200 and something, and I said to Shanna, I said, I'm going to go buy some sneakers. Because the casino is attached to the fucking mall. I was like, I'm going to go buy some Jordans. I'll come back then and hang out with you. That's what I did. I just wanted to get something out of it. Want to know the worst part is when I win, I'll buy Apple and Google cards to send donations to my favorite YouTubers. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, JGB. Rusty needs meds. He certainly does. I don't drink and I stay out of casinos. Good for you, Jennifer. I'm happy to hear that. Hardest thing to do is get out of that casino up money. Oh, yeah, well, or even, yeah. Do you mean like it's just hard to do in general because it is, or do you mean like if you're up or if you're even, you can't get yourself to leave because you want to play more? Ask what, JGB? I don't know. But I watch these channels on YT where they gamble huge. It curbs my desire. I watch them sometimes too. They're addicted to the chase. They are. FBS sounds like you watch everyone else more than you do your screen. I do. First of all, I'm like that. You know, I'm very observant, and I'm like a people watcher to some extent. I'm always curious, and especially when it comes to gambling, because you guys don't know. Like, sure, we go to casinos fairly often. I'll be the first to tell you, we bring very little money. We play. Usually, we could play for quite a while on very little money, and then we leave. It's our night out. We don't drink. We don't do drugs. We don't. You know what I mean? None of that. We'll go out to dinner. We'll go to the casino. We could maybe bring $200 each and be there 4 or 5 fucking hours. You know what I mean? And some of the time we leave up, some of the time we leave even, some of the time we leave down, sometimes we leave with nothing. But that's the plan when we go there. It's just like if we were going to have a night where we went out to a big dinner and then went to a club for a little while and drank, and bought other people drinks and had a good time, we probably would have fucking spent the same amount. So it's just, you know what I mean? Sometimes we'll just bring 150 each. A couple of times we've only brought 100. Depends. Just depends on how things are going at the time. I don't know what my point. I think I was just going to say that I'm okay. I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. I think I was just going to make the point that like that's it. That's what I can deal with, and I want to make it last as long as possible. You know what I'm saying? So I play the minimum on every machine. If it's 50 cents and then the next one is $1, I play 50 cents. I never play $1. I just want to make it last because to me, it's just a night out. I'm not even there planning on winning. If you plan on winning at a casino, yeah, you're going to be disappointed 99% of the time. So I watch other people because it's fascinating to me that people can spin a fucking machine $5 or even $2.50 or $3 or sometimes $10. I've seen people playing $30 a spin. It's insane. It's like, what are you doing? $5 fucking a spin. You're out of your fucking mind. But it's fascinating to me that people could do this like it's nothing. And it's not necessarily because they just have it like that. It's because they can't play small because they ain't satisfied with winning small. They got to win big. And then when they win big, they play it back. It fascinates me. Gambling addiction fascinates me. So that's why I watch people probably more than I watch my own screen, Michael. I watch their screens. Yeah, it's enjoyment. If people try to say we're gambling addicts, you're crazy. Not at all. It's just that we want to go out. Just like everybody else wants to go out on weekends and shit. I like getting dressed nice. She gets dressed nice. We go out. We have a nice dinner. Then we have a good time. We have a ball. And that's just our going out money. That's it. I can't tell you one time where we ran out of our money that we took with us and said, let's go take more money out of the ATM. Never. I wouldn't even pay that $9 fee. Fuck out of here. So there's never any of that. It's just we play until we. And a lot of the time, and Shannon could tell you this, I love my wife so much. Like my life truly is about making her happy. And a lot of the time, like if I'm doing okay and Shanna's losing, we're like, usually, like I said, we pick machines. We know the machines at the local casino here will make it last. But every now and then you just get a bad run. And if there's a night where Shannon's just losing all her money and I'm doing well, I'll stop gambling and just give all my money to her. And then I'll just let her do it the rest of the night. Because otherwise I feel bad. I can't, you know what I mean? I don't know. I can't enjoy myself. Oh, Ducks. My biggest win? Nothing. You'd laugh at it. Probably that Wheel of Prosperity machine, I won $875 on, I think. That's my biggest win ever. And roulette, a couple of times, I won $400 or $500. There was those other machines where I won around $500-600 a couple of times. Shanna, though, one night we were leaving the casino, we had $12 left. And we passed this dollar machine, and Shanna said, can I just put $1 in this? I said, yeah. She puts $1 in and spins it, and she wins $1,200 fucking dollars. And we left immediately after that. She has gotten some big wins, but for me, I don't play like Shanna's like a free spirit. She'll sit down in the machine and just play. She's not worried about every dime. I am so uptight when it comes to money, guys, that I'll play a machine for $10. If I don't start to win something in $10, I go to a different machine. So I don't win that much because scared money don't make money. And my money is scared to death. I understand, Jennifer. A lot of people can't. Are you talking to me? This? Oh, yeah. I love this shit. It says Kid Dynamite on the back. If you're even, I'm assuming you're talking. I love this shirt. Anyway, you guys got anything you want to share or what? What's going on? I asked you. Nobody put anything in the chat. I mean, that's okay. I guess that means everything's going well for you guys. I hope so. I truly hope so. Let me see if I got something here. Okay. Thanks, man. Thanks, bro. All right. Well, I'll tell you what I'll probably do then. We're an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm going to shut it down in a second, but I'll leave you with this. It's like I always say, you know, stay clean no matter what you have to do. Stay clean. And, you know, if you're doing AA meetings or NA meetings, and that's helping you, keep up with those. If you're doing any type of therapy that's helping you, stay clean, keep up with that. Always remember the importance of your recovery and all the good things that have happened to you since you got clean and sober. And if you're still struggling, as I always say, I'm living proof. No matter how scary it might be to get clean and sober, once you do, you'll be amazed at how easily you snap into it and how many good things will come your way. You know, if you're alone, you might meet somebody. If you're broke, you might find a way to make some money. You might get a good job. You might find a business. Who knows? You know, if you got no family and you meet somebody, you got a new family. You know, if you don't have a place to live, do what you got to do. Stay in a recovery home for a couple of months. You'll meet people. You know, they'll hook you up with people who got apartments and shit. And get yourself a little place to stay, get a job, you know, all that. Get a job first, of course. Life can be better, guys. That's the point. Stay the course. Yeah, life can be better. There's no, in my opinion, it can only get better if you get clean and sober. And if you don't, it can only get worse. Everybody in this chat survived addiction. And they were able to get clean no matter how scary it was. So it's my suggestion to everyone is the longer you put it off, the longer you're putting off living a real life. And the more time you're wasting. And guys, there's just not enough time. It's one thing you don't want to waste. It's the most valuable thing we have because it's the only thing we can't get back. So if you're struggling today and you can, get some help today. If you can't, get some help tomorrow. And if you need help finding help, we are here for you. You know, if anybody hits me up and tells me, look, Chris, I want to get into a place. This is where I live, but I can't focus long enough. I'm getting high too much. I will do all the research for you and try to figure out a way to get you into some place. You know, and so will the people here. We have people, you know, all over the country and you know, the world really that are a part of this audience. So no matter where you are, there's probably somebody close enough to you that they can help you with whatever you need. You know, like if you're within a few states of me and I can you need a ride or you just, you know, me coming to get you and take you somewhere is a little bit of motivation for you to go. Something like I'll gladly do it. I've done it before. And these people in the chat, I'm sure would say the same. So stay on the road to recovery, guys, and write down these numbers. Yeah, no doubt, Tom Sheehy. I'm so glad to have you here, by the way. Let's see. Can't believe you didn't yell at me, Miss Campiero. Nope, that's Happy Labor Day. Wait. There you go. Write down those numbers. National Addiction Hotline, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Keep them close by. Remember that even if you're alone, you got all of us. And go to nextdistro.org and get your free Narcan so maybe you can save a life one day. Should always keep it on you. I have it. in my car at all times. So, and Shanna carries it in her car, in her purse. You might be able to save a life. So that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I know it wasn't the most convenient time of day for me to do an addiction and recovery show, but I wanted to make sure I got one in today. Yeah, some of you can reach each other. Yeah. And if anybody wants to know how to reach us, listen, I know as far as I go, at least I'll share my information with you. And I think most of the people in the chat would too. Yeah, JGB. Listen, I'll tell you the truth. I got lucky and I got lucky, and I never forget that, that I've had it very easily, or very easy as far as recovery goes. I've had it very easy because I met her while I was getting clean, and I started a life with her, and she's my life to this day. I'm very grateful for that, and it's never lost on me that people who are alone, people that don't have somebody, struggle 1,000 times worse than I had to. But I wish it for everyone. I wish all of you, anybody who's out there struggling, I wish you could meet somebody, get yourself clean and sober, and start a whole new life. And you'd see how amazing it is, how easy it is to just start over and not even think so much about drugs or alcohol anymore, because you got a brand new life to live, But I will promise you this. If you get clean and sober, eventually you'll meet somebody. You will. It just might take time. Thank you, Tom Sheehy. I appreciate you, brother. All right, War, no doubt, man. Guys, thanks. I love you all. I really do. I appreciate you more than you know. I'm going to go get my glasses, and I'll see you probably tomorrow. All right? I love you all. And until next time, salute.